You say good morning, America. Let's see. 58 days until the new Star Wars movie hits theaters. Millions already watching that new trailer over and over and over on YouTube and Facebook. The founder of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, he was one of them. This is what he said. This looks amazing. I love Star Wars. And so the response from the Star Wars Facebook account, we know. Those movie ticket sites overwhelmed by pre-orders overnight. We'll have much more ahead.
Yeah, all kinds of anticipation in the movie world. Meanwhile, the political world waiting for Joe Biden. There he is right there. Will he or won't he run for president? Washington Post jumped the gun a little bit last night. Look at that accidental headline. Oops. Oops. Biden to launch presidential campaign. Not so fast. It came down. But our new ABC News Washington Post poll is just out right now, and it might give Biden supporters some pause. It shows a strong move from Hillary Clinton after that debate, some slippage for Biden. ABC's John Carl has all the latest. Good morning, John.
Good morning, George. Hillary Clinton got a big boost coming out of that debate, but it hasn't stopped the frenzy of speculation about whether or not Joe Biden will jump in the race.
Good to see you, man. I do enjoy Pittsburgh. Hi, honey. How are you?
It wasn't quite a campaign speech, but Vice President Biden spoke passionately Monday about tackling the threat of climate change.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
The question remains, what is Biden doing? A source involved with Biden's deliberations on whether to run for president tells ABC News the vice president has not made a decision yet. He is busy calling supporters, but some in Biden's circle now believe he may wait another week before announcing his plans. While Biden is still mum on 2016, he may be testing out some potential campaign lines.
I'm not one of these guys, you know, let's go after the rich and the powerful and they're the problem. They're not a problem.
Is that a swipe at Bernie Sanders' campaign against billionaires? Or listen to this one.
I don't consider Republicans enemies, they're friends.
Is that a subtle shot at Hillary? Here's what she said when asked which enemies she is most proud of.
Well, in addition to the NRA, the health insurance companies, the drug companies, the Iranians, probably the Republicans.
But after Clinton's strong performance at the first Democratic debate, voters are split on whether Biden should run. 47% of Democrats say they want Biden to get in the race, while 49% say he should stay out. One Biden confidant acknowledged the odds are against him, starting so late with no money and no campaign organization.
As for that Washington Post headline that briefly hit the paper's headline website, the reporter who wrote it, Paul Kane, wants everybody to know that he had also prepared a Biden is not running story as well.
I'm sure he has. Okay. Thanks, John. Meanwhile, you know, Biden and his team say he's not paying attention to the polls as he makes this decision. No decision yet from the vice president. But that new poll we have this morning does show that his position has weakened a little bit over the last month.
Yeah, it's dramatic, George. Take a look at it now. This is where the race was a month ago. Hillary Clinton at 42%. Now she is up to over 50%, has a 31-point lead, a huge boost coming out of that debate, leading some of his supporters to think he's probably waited too long to do this.
Okay, John Carl, thanks very much.
All right there, George. Now to Oscar Pistorius, out of prison this morning and under house arrest after less than a year behind bars for killing his girlfriend. ABC's Terry Moran is in South Africa with the latest. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning, Robin. Well, it happened under cover of night. Oscar Pistorius transferred from prison last night in two black corrections officers' vehicles to this place, this splendid mansion. This is his uncle's home. We've seen family members coming and going, and this is where he will spend the remaining 4 years of his sentence.
This morning, a spokesperson for Pistorius emerged from the house to read a statement.
It's very important for the family to emphasize that Oscar's sentence hasn't been shortened or reduced. He's simply entering the next phase of his sentence now.
But no sign of Pistorius himself, and many are outraged, feeling he's somehow getting special treatment. His probation requires him to continue court-mandated psychotherapy, and he'll be barred from having a firearm. It's the latest chapter in a tragic saga that's riveted people around the world. Pistorius, a Paralympic champion, a symbol of courage and hope to so many. And Reva Steenkamp, his beautiful South African model girlfriend. There's a storybook love until Valentine's Day 2013. Riva is shot and killed behind a locked bathroom door by Oscar, who claims he thought he was shooting at an intruder. Then the sensational murder trial. Pistorius facing a blistering cross-examination.
You killed Riva Steenkamp, that's what you did. Say yes. I shot and killed Riva Steenkamp.
I took my lady.
But in the end, the judge declared there wasn't enough evidence to convict him of murder. And now he's out of prison, and the parole board is also requiring him to meet with the family of Riva Steenkamp if they want to.
Pistorius does have one more problem ahead of him. Next month, prosecutors will be back in court. They're trying to overturn that verdict, get a murder conviction instated, and that means he could get back in prison for as much as 15 years. Meanwhile, however, part of his conditions of holding here is that he will be able to leave this home to go to church and to work, and his work is track and field. So it's possible that we will see Oscar Pistorius back on the track soon.
We will be watching for that. Okay, Terry, thanks very much. We're going to turn now to the hunt for a brazen hacker who launched a cyber attack against America's top spy and the head of Homeland Security. He's been bragging about it online, releasing private information overnight. ABC's Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas is tracking the case. Good morning, Pierre.
Good morning, George. Overnight, this allegedly young hacker began releasing what he claims is private information from some of the nation's top intelligence officials.
The hacker, who claims he's a high school teenager, angry about the plight of Palestinians, posted on Twitter the names of what he says are the Social Security numbers of a who's who in the intelligence community. The list includes Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson and a host of current and former senior security officials. The stolen information was allegedly gleaned from a breach of private email accounts containing the background security files and other documents of CIA Director John Brennan. The hacker claims he infiltrated Brennan's account by tricking Verizon and AOL employees into resetting his password. The Twitter account posting the information was abruptly taken down last night. Today, the FBI and Secret Service are racing to identify the hacker and to see if they can build a case against him.
Sources tell us it does not appear that any classified information was taken, but these top officials face the prospect of more hacking and further leaks of their private information. Robin?
So disturbing. All right, Pierre. Now to a major milestone for all those people who lost so much money in the Bernie Madoff scandal. Brian Ross is here, ABC News exclusive with the latest. Good morning, Brian.
Well, good morning, Robin. Some good news this morning for the victims of Bernie Madoff, wiped out in what was the largest financial crime in American history.
What do you have to say to the public, to your investors?
When Bernie Madoff's massive Ponzi scheme was uncovered almost 7 years ago, there was little hope that his investors would get back any of their money. But this morning, officials and bankruptcy lawyers tell ABC News they have now recovered more than $11 billion of the $17 billion that was lost.
The calculations are that anyone who put in $1,161,000 is going to be made completely whole in this distribution.
100% back.
Correct. Yeah, and that's most of the people who had valid claims.
A huge relief for hundreds of victims who lost their life savings to Madoff, including many who were outside the courthouse when Madoff was sentenced to life in prison.
You jerk, you know? How could you possibly live with yourself?
The biggest chunk of missing money was recovered from one Palm Beach lawyer found dead in his swimming pool less than a year after Madoff was arrested. Officials now say they have determined Jeffrey Pickauer was in on the scheme with Madoff, and his widow agreed to turn over $7.2 billion to the victims, virtually every dollar her late husband made in the Madoff scheme, more than Madoff himself.
I think it was Mr. Pickauer, probably as an individual, by far made the most money.
The bankruptcy trustee is still in court with a number of others, including Madoff's wife, Ruth, to get even more money for the victims.
The Madoff case has also made the huge teams of bankruptcy lawyers very rich. They collectively have paid almost $1 billion in fees over the last 7 years, which they say was a good investment given the $11 billion they have recovered. Robert.
Let's go back. $7 billion?
That's what he took out. He's considered probably the most successful person in the Madoff scheme. He got a lot more than Madoff.
And where's Madoff now? What's happening with him?
Madoff is locked up in a federal prison in North Carolina, where he will spend the rest of his life.
All right. Thank you, Brian.
Some staggering sun's there. Okay, let's go to Ginger right now. You got a major warm-up in the east, but some storms in the southwest.
Right. Everybody get ready, because we're going to take one of those huge weather U-turns, the kind that get you pulled over. Seriously, we're going from just above freezing earlier this week from D.C. to Raleigh, New York City, and then flipping some 20 to 30 degrees by tomorrow or Thursday. So temperatures well into the 70s, almost 80 for D.C. Raleigh, you'll get there too with a little more cloud cover and an east wind. And then we're watching the southwest. That low pressure system way up in the atmosphere is going to get caught for a couple days. It's going to surge moisture and energy. That means thunderstorms, hail, the primary threat, with damaging wind and flash flooding in there too. I'll have a whole lot more coming up in the nation's weather. Robin?
All right, Ginger, okay. But in the meantime, ooh, it's good to be Oprah Winfrey. The power of Oprah. I don't even say her last name that much. That's why I stumble over it. The billionaire superstar betting big on Weight Watchers, buying a stake in the business, sending the stock skyrocketing. ABC's Mara Scavacampo has that story for us. Good morning, Mara.
Robin, good morning. Weight Watchers is calling it a groundbreaking partnership. The media mogul joining the company as an owner, celebrity endorser, and member. This is the diet company is looking to expand from focusing just on weight loss to overall health, and they're hoping the Oprah effect will help. This morning, Oprah Winfrey throwing her weight behind one of the world's biggest diet companies.
How does it feel to lose weight while on Weight Watchers?
The media mogul buying 10% of Weight Watchers for $43.2 million. Tweeting, "I believe in the Weight Watchers program so much, I decided to invest." The announcement sending company stock surging, prices more than doubling Monday.
Oprah is a super savvy businesswoman. She would not have joined Weight Watchers had she not thought that it was a solid, smart investment.
As part of the deal, Oprah will also become a Weight Watchers member, publicly sharing her own experiences after struggling with her weight for decades, famously dragging 67 pounds of fat on stage for the Oprah Winfrey Show in 1988.
It is amazing to me that I can't lift it, but I used to carry it around every day.
When you see me gain weight, it is not about I'm pigging out. It is always about my life is out of balance. It's not about the food. It's about using food.
This new partnership reflects Weight Watchers' efforts at rebranding to broaden the company's mission to prioritize overall health and wellness. In recent years, their stocks have slumped as many dieters have gone digital. Now they're hoping the Oprah effect can tip the scales. Now, Oprah will also take on a very important role as an advisor. One thing she knows how to do is inspire people to live their best life. As for that stock surge, the big winner, Oprah. She made $70 million yesterday. I'd say it's a pretty good day one.
Yeah, it sure was, Mara. And it was one of those TV moments. You remember when she rolled out that wagon with all that fat? Remember it like it was yesterday. Now, Amy is back, has the morning's other top stories, starting with several fires targeting churches.
That's right, Robin. Security is actually being tightened at churches in Missouri after a string of suspected arson fires. 6 predominantly black churches have now been set on fire in the St. Louis area in recent days. A reward is offered for information leading to an arrest. Well, a contractor in Philadelphia has been convicted of manslaughter for a building collapse. Look at that killed 6 people. Prosecutors claimed he ignored warnings and cut corners on the project in 2013. He could now face decades in prison. Well, surprising election results from Canada overnight. The Liberals winning in a landslide. 43-year-old Justin Trudeau will be the next prime minister, ending nearly a decade of conservative rule. Trudeau's father was prime minister in the 70s and 80s. Well, Japan has confirmed the first case of cancer linked to the 2011 Fukushima nuclear disaster. A former plant worker has leukemia, and at least 3 similar cancer cases could also be linked to that plant. Well, there are new details about the death of a high school football player in Texas. 16-year-old Cameron Matthews collapsed during a game on Friday. Doctors say he died from an aneurysm, and they are not sure if it was football related. And finally, well, the skies were not so friendly for this plane flying into Australia. Did you see that? It was nearly struck by a huge bolt of lightning. A storm chaser caught the moment on tape. And when you take a closer look, you see, look at that, the size of that lightning bolt just dwarfing the plane. The guy who took the picture was safely in his car, but he was a storm chaser, said that it was just a remarkable show. And thankfully, no one injured in the air. 2 people, though, were injured on the ground.
Really?
Yes.
Unbelievable picture.
Yeah.
Thank you, Amy. New Star Wars trailer breaks the internet overnight. All the details in just 30 seconds.
For the trailer, 17,000 tweets a minute as it aired, and this is our final glimpse, the final clues before the movie finally arrives for real. The stomach for the ticket fight last night, but this morning I logged on. It is back up and running, but a lot of theatres completely sold out for the first couple of days. All those grey dots unavailable, but do not despair, George and Robin. There are still tickets out there. You will get to see the movie.
58 days ahead of time. Thank you, Nick. You know, the stars of the movie saw the trailer for the first time last night. Look at John Boyega. He plays Finn in the movie, and this is him last night watching the trailer. I guess he liked it.
He called it epic, so I guess he did like it.
He did. That was great.
By the way, the Eagles won 27-7.
Yeah.
Everybody was watching the football game. Yeah. So much more. What Manziel says really happened.